Hey, everybody, welcome. Hi, my name's Alyssa O'Neill, and I am here just getting us started tonight because we are having our very first new series called Wellbeing Wednesday. It's going to be the last Wednesday of the month, and tonight we are featuring one of our very own Mary Kay consultants who also just happens to be a certified health coach, Roeder-Purcell. So we're so excited to have her here. So I have been just so blessed in getting to know Emalee. She is just 100% a breath of fresh air. She's very encouraging. She's very calming. Her voice is super soothing, so that'll be great. But she's going to just be sharing some simple tips for our general well-being. In this group, in the Social Rescue, if that's where you're watching us, we love to bring you other content other than just skincare and beauty. And your well-being is just as important as good skincare. It's all part of taking care of your whole self. So, Emalee, we're super excited to have you. I'm going to just let you take it away.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for the warm welcome. And I've absolutely loved getting to know you and just being a part of everything Mary Kay and just really the community of everything. So as Alyssa mentioned, my name is Emalee. So I will just give you a little introduction of who I am, what's kind of led me here, what's a certified health coach, and then we'll get into our topic tonight, which is how to create a self-care plan. So I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, I'm lots of different titles. But finally, I am realizing that I am me, and I am a collection of these things. But at the end of the day, I'm Emalee. I developed a love of health, wellness, beauty since I can remember because I grew up playing sports. So I've always loved to move. And that's just kind of led me into other topics that I've been interested regarding sports, health, wellness, and then beauty, because my mom actually was a Mary Kay independent beauty consultant. So I've kind of seen the community of that growing up, as well as now I'm a part of that community. So about a year and a half ago, I left my full-time career in human services due to really drastic changes brought on by the pandemic so that I could be home full time with my daughter, who's now 6, and my son, who's now 4. Joined Mary Kay about April. I have animals, so you'll probably hear them in the background. Sorry. April 2021, because I wanted to try something new. I wanted to try something that was out of my comfort zone. And that's what led me into this community. And now I get to be here with you guys. So in 2016 is when I became a mother. It was honestly one of the best things that has ever happened in my life. But I really did start to lose a sense of who I am, like who is Emalee? And that got lost in the chaos of working full time, transitioning into motherhood, and then 2 years later adding in our son, Anakin, into the mix. And I also worked in a field where it was a helping field. And I experienced firsthand and witnessed firsthand, people giving themselves so much into support others and care for others and not really giving any of that, pouring that into themselves. I wouldn't change any of my experiences as a mom or in my career, but I definitely was really finding it hard how to figure out this balance of work life. So when I left my career a little over a year ago, I was like, something's got to change. I need to make a change for myself, for my family. I just wasn't feeling happy. And just, again, really that loss of sense of self. So I worked really hard to reprioritize my well-being and figure out what makes me happy, what brings me joy, how can I show up for myself so that then I can show up for everybody that I care about, and as well as my community. So during that time, I rediscovered my love and my passion for health and wellness. And that then led me into enrolling in a program. In January, I started, and I became a certified health coach in February. So I'm very excited this new journey that I've taken to further myself and potentially into, my next steps in a career. A health coach is somebody who works with individuals, groups, to figure out their goals through their health journey, because it's all a journey that we're on and trying to figure out, and it ebbs and it flows. As well as like leading groups, such as something like this, where you discuss different health topics around healthy living, disease prevention, all sorts of kinds of things. A health coach is somebody who provides encouragement, motivation, and really helps others to see the potential that lies within them, as well as hold them accountable to the goals and the things that they want to do. And it's also part of it is like guiding others to seeing how a holistic and integrative approach of health can really benefit you in such a positive way. So that's just kind of a nutshell of who I am, what's led me to here. And I'm just so excited that I get to share every month some sort of different topic around health and well-being to help you guys maybe be able to prioritize yourselves a little bit. So yeah, we'll get started. Alyssa is going to share the presentation. And I did forget to mention, whether you're watching live, feel free to say hello. I see some people in here. I'm sometimes bad at checking comments, so I'm sorry. But I see everybody. Hi, Carla. Marissa's on. Amanda. And I think that's all that I see. Musina. So, okay. So we are going to get into the presentation. And if you didn't get to watch live, just feel free to comment if you want to comment hashtag replay. So let me bring up, so I put together, I like visuals, so I put together a little something to go through the information with you guys. So we're going to present. So self-care. So our presentation is around self-care and how to create a self-care plan. This is 3 simple steps to get that plan going. So I think it's always important first, let's define what is self-care. So the Oxford Languages definition is that it's a practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. The practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, in particular during periods of stress. And I also love this definition. This is from the World Health Organization. They define self-care as the ability of individuals, families, and communities to promote health, prevent disease, maintain health, and to cope with illness and disability with or without the support of a healthcare provider. So you can see here, self-care, it's figuring out how to care for yourself, but that really leads into your relationships outside of yourself. And in order for you to be the best in your relationships, you got to be the best version of yourself. So I love that the WHO really took in all aspects of extensions of who you are as an individual, and then how that kind of ripples out into different aspects of your life. So we can get into, so I do want to mention, I think, especially as women with all the many roles we play, we tend to think that self-care is selfish because we think of the word self and you hear selfish, but it's not at all. As I mentioned, in order for us to be the best versions of ourselves, we have to care for ourselves first so that we can really show up for others in such a positive way with your loved ones, professionally, with what you do in your community. And by prioritizing your self-care, it enables you to do your best in all of those different ways. Self-care is also something that it really will look different for everyone. There's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So it's really a unique time for you to look at different aspects of what makes you happy, what makes you feel good, what do you do when you're feeling stressed? And for everyone, that is so, so different. So we will get into the steps. So step 1 is creating a list of activities. So this would be things that, again, that help you to take care of yourself. So the program that I was in, they used this acronym called LEAN. And it has nothing to do with weight or what you look like or your size. And what LEAN stands for is the L is for lifestyle. So that's how you live. So examples of that, and my throat. I had to take a sip. Sorry, my throat is drying up. So examples of that would be like how much sleep are you getting? Your different relationships, your interactions with others. E stands for exercise, how you move your body. And that's really anything that you can do to physically be active and be moving around. The A stands for attitude, which is how you think. So what kind of thoughts do you have? What kind of information are you reading through or taking in, and how you then interpret that? And then the N in LEAN stands for nutrition. So that's how you eat. So the different things that you're putting into your body. So for me, I use that acronym to kind of look at how do I pick activities that I'm going to do. But that's just one way that I do it. There's lots of different activities and things that you'll figure out that you really want to make a priority, or that you want to try to incorporate into your routines. So I also have some templates, some really, really great templates that I was able to find online that I just wanted to show, because sometimes when it's all these ideas going on in our head, we sometimes get them mixed up, or we're not sure like which one to do, where sometimes these templates can help you to organize your thoughts and then put it into action. So the first worksheet, this one I found, I'm actually going to try because I've never seen it before and it looks incredible. You actually get to look at, they segmented into physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual self-care. And then they actually give examples of what those things can be. And then you can list other things that might not be on there. So this is really good too if you're having a difficult time maybe thinking of something, or just would like some new ideas to kind of keep your plan going. And then you can rate them as things that you do frequently to things that you never do. And then they have this great questions that come up on page 2 that then walk you through how to kind of pick those things out. And then you can see like which ones you do the most, that you already really have incorporated, and then maybe ones that you don't do that you want to then pick. So this is just one example that I thought was really great that I came across. And then this one is looks at mind, body, and spirit. And it also lists the supportive people in your life, because a part of self-care is creating a community of self-care. So this then helps you to list that. Also what you want to accomplish. So then taking these ideas and activities that you're listing, and then what you want to then do with that. There is also another example that I found that is, it's called the self-care wheel. And this looks at physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, personal, and professional. So it has all these different kind of areas that you can look through. It does give some examples. Again, it's not a comprehensive list. It's just kind of some typical things. And really everything is going to be tailored to what fits you. And then it also provides some blank templates that you can use. So there's those. So I just wanted to give some examples in case you're somebody who likes to visually look at things. I also too just write things down in a journal, or the little note section on my phone is something that I use quite often. So that's step 1. You're choosing those activities. Then we get into step 2, which is really an important step. Is you're gonna think of you're going to choose the activities that you want, self-care activities, and then you're going to look at any potential barriers and what those could be. And you're going to list that with your activity. Okay, these are the barriers, and then how am I going to overcome it? So for example, I really try to prioritize sleep because it affects everything for me, my mood, my energy. So I also love, though, watching TV at night. So that affects how much sleep I'm getting. So my goal is to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night consecutive if I don't get woken up by an animal or my children. But my barrier is that I sometimes scroll on my phone, or I'm then maybe binging a show because it's my only time to myself. And I'm like, okay, I want to watch this. But then it interrupts my sleep and it then affects my next day. So to overcome that, for me, it would be leaving my phone outside of the room, not even letting it near me. And also something else that I can do is make sure I'm turning the TV off by 9:30. Even better to overcome for me personally would be if I could just read instead of that. So that's just kind of an example, of what step 2 would look like. Step 3 that we get into is to share your plan with friends. This is another important piece to it because really, again, you're creating a community of care so that you can hold yourself accountable, but also support others as they're on their self-care journey. So, for example, we're in this social rescue group. That's a group that you guys are already a part of. That's great. So maybe you meet somebody through that, or maybe you have a close friend or family member or somebody that you are comfortable sharing these with. Or maybe you're not comfortable, sharing with a friend, and that's completely okay. So in those times, journals are great, or something that you can write in, that you can still write down, what your plan is, as well as like how you feel after it. Because too, when you're discussing with somebody, you're going through and you're kind of commenting back and forth with each other. So I do think it's good to also reflect on like how you feel after you do each of these activities and how it fit into your routine. And just remember too that it can change. Things will ebb and they will flow, and you will feel like you have no time, and then you have to kind of adapt and change for maybe just that day, or maybe it's that week, or maybe you find you just cannot get to it. So then you revise. So just remember that it's always a work in progress, just as we are as people. All these self-care plans are work in progress, and they'll change, with different things going on in your life. So I thought it would be great if we did a little activity. So just to kind of practice this. So take just a few minutes. I'm going to go back in to see if you are watching live or you're watching a replay, whichever. Make a goal, just one simple activity, self-care activity that you would like to do, maybe starting this week or sometime in the near future. So write that down. Then write down what would be a barrier to carrying that out. And then once you write down what the barrier is, write down then how you would overcome that. So for example, my big goal, movement goal, is to go for a trail ride on my bicycle. So barrier to that is I do have limited time away from my family because I'm the primary caregiver for my children. So in order to overcome that barrier, I would need to schedule and be okay with scheduling, reaching out to whether it's my spouse or a grandparent or somebody to watch the kids during a time that works for both of us. So just take a few minutes. And then if you're comfortable, you can put it in a comment in the chat so that you then are sharing it out into the world, holding yourself accountable. And if you're not comfortable, that's completely okay. I'm just going to set a little timer, take like 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'll come back. All right. So if anyone did take a few minutes to kind of do that activity, if you're comfortable sharing in the comments, feel free what your self-care activity would be, any barriers to it. Oh, there goes my timer completely. As well as then how you would overcome those barriers. And also, if you have any examples of self-care activities that you'd like to share, because it might be an idea for somebody else, or it's fun to kind of bounce ideas off of each other also in the chat. So I see, Carla, you said about with the sleep as well. I know the watching TV, it's something I have to work really, really hard. And I have nights where I'm really good, and I have other nights where I'm falling asleep and not realizing that the TV was still going. Somebody put, make time in my day to consistently work out to promote a healthy lifestyle. That's a great self-care activity, because movement, whatever exercise it is that brings you joy, it really helps your body and your mind in so many different ways. So I wanted to, let me get back into the presentation. Select green. All right. So I wanted to take a few minutes to do an actual, I'm going to actually self-care activity with you, a practice, I guess you could say. Let me turn off my camera so you're not distracted by my face during this. So I am a big follower of an organization called Mindful, and they focus a lot on meditation, other things, just really how to promote well-being in general. So I thought it would be nice to go through, the magazine that I got, that I subscribed to this month, was about self-care. And they have these 6 self-care activities, meditations that you can do. Now, the one that I selected, there are audio versions of this. It is 10 minutes. So if you're newer to meditation, that's going to feel like forever. So I didn't want to do the audio of it. So I'm going to read through it, and then we can kind of, you can practice it, or maybe come back and try it later. But I will also provide the link that has all the self-care meditations with the audio versions with it, as well as the written script of it as well. So I'm gonna start out. So this one is called Explore What's True. First, you're going to settle into a comfortable position. You may be seated, or you're welcome to lie down, whatever position you're in. Wherever you are, take a few deep breaths. You can cast your gaze down and ahead. Feel into your body and ask yourself, is there anything I need right now? Is there anything I'm longing for in this moment? You may want something to be different, or you may be longing for a particular experience. Ask yourself, what do I want? What do I need? If nothing is emerging for you, bring to mind a recent experience when you really wanted something. Maybe you wanted to be seen or acknowledged. Maybe you wanted to connect with a certain person, or you wanted someone to call you or attend to you. Identify a recent experience you had of longing and consider the situation, the people, the place. Turn your attention towards the felt sense of the wanting. Hold this feeling of wanting, and as you do, see if you can identify what it is that you want below the particularities. What universal need are you touching upon? Maybe you want respect, ease, joy, or connection. Consider this question: how could I meet this need? Take a few moments to explore the creative ways this need could be met. Take a few deep breaths. Feel your body on the chair or on the ground. And when you're ready, you can lift your gaze. So that's the end of that meditation. That was written by Jessica Mori. She's a meditation teacher and coach. Get back into... Even just reading that, I feel calmer, which is interesting because I wasn't really truly doing the practice, just kind of trying to read through and feel it a little bit. I'll start my camera, get back into the present. So really, I did want to, I'll also share this in the comments. So the presentation I put together tonight was based on a teacher that I recently discovered. Her name is Shelley Tygielski, I believe is how you pronounce it. But I'll leave the link for that. And then the second link that's on this resource page is the one that has these guided meditations, if that's something you're interested looking into. And they have the audio version that will give the full length. And it will have this one on it, the Explore What's True. That will be there as well. So that brings us to the end. Again, my name's Emalee. I'm a certified health coach, among many other things, as I had explained. But just feel free to reach out with any questions. If you're looking for more information, reach out. If those self-care templates, how to really create the plan, get your ideas out onto paper. If you're interested in those, I can send you copies of the PDFs. And I have my email there, my phone number, and you can also reach me on the Facebook Messenger. It's my first and my last name is there. So you can reach out in any of those formats. I'm here. You can reach out in the comments. I'll be looking through that. I'm going to try to go to bed on time tonight since I'm prioritizing my sleep again. But I'll go through the comments and see if there was anything that I needed to answer. But most of all, just thank you for taking the time to listen, to prioritize yourself, to be a part of this community, and just always remember to be kind to yourself and love yourself, and just know that things will change and things will, and you'll adapt, and you'll have a great evening.
Yay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I would love if in the comments, please share what you got out of this experience. I know for me, I loved that meditation. That was phenomenal. I've honestly can say I've never done one before. I've never listened through anything like that. So that was really interesting to just kind of let myself relax, because I don't really let myself do that a whole lot. So it was nice to just relax and feel the feelings and really realize what is it in those moments that we need, that is kind of deep below the surface that sometimes maybe we don't really think about. So this was
Exactly.
awesome, Emalee. We are
Oh,
so
thank you.
excited to pair up with you for this.
I'm so
And
happy.
yeah,
Thank
and
you for the opportunity so much. I'm
absolutely.
so
I
excited.
think this is great. I think everybody needs it, not just us as, consultants, but us as people, our
Yeah.
customers, everybody. So this was great. And anybody watching, if you'd love to share this with a friend, you can ask your consultant for the YouTube link to this video too, and you can share it that way. Or we always say, invite your friends into this group, and then they get to be a part of all of the great content that is shared here as well. We're going to have some awesome stuff coming up in July. We're just finishing up Customer Appreciation Month. So stay tuned for an awesome full calendar of things coming for July. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night. Bye. Thank you.